building strength in your abduct.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Be Your Own Hero Show. I'm your host. I'm Sacred Rights, and I'm a professional author. My latest book out is Hack Your Own Pain. Here it is. Hack Your Pain Now. Hack Your Pain Now. Forgive me mispronouncing my name, but the name of my book is Hack Your Pain Now. All right. And here we are. Here we are. So I don't know. I don't know if you can feel it today, but I don't know. I'm feeling it today. I'm feeling it today. I am feeling all the things today. Maybe I'll just tell you what's been going on. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I should do that. But I mentioned it yesterday, my first day back in a week, and all last week was different servers after servers, dentists and neuropsychologists, Scientologists. And I mentioned that I was feeling depressed, right? And what's been happening, I can't really quite figure out yet, but what I think is happening is my internal clock was set for a year because my early health people were saying a year. It would take a year before I felt fine. Well, a year is come and gone, and I still am experiencing the pain and the discomfort. And so I recognize that I've come a long way. I recognize that. I do. But still I haven't come as far as I would have expected to have come in more than a year. And so that's been catching up with me some, and now talking to the doctors and talking to the therapists, the neuroscientists, has given me the opportunity to really talk about what's been going on with me and what's been happening internally, and letting that out, like let it loose in the room. You know, it's like sometimes you have something silent, you're holding it silent, right? As long as you hold it silent, you can hold it. But once you let it out into the room, though, once you let it out into the room, it's like it's loud, and now this you've let it out into the room, you've got to deal with it in an ongoing basis. Yeah. So I think that's what's happening. I think I just sounded it out right here on the show. Is that I let that thing out into the room, and now that it's loose, now that I've let that go, it's become harder to deal with. Become harder to deal with. So I I really didn't want to do today's show. I really didn't, but I am trying hard to to show up, to show up as it has helped in the past, and pray to God that it will help me again. Will help me again. So Ashe. Ashe. So that I had to get that out. I guess that was weighing on me, and now I'll get into some money. P King saying, "I'm glad you did it." Okay, so here we go. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's get to it. Let's do our affirmations. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. I am so happy and grateful to be a multimillionaire in every area of my life. So my reading of that was a little bit down today. I hope yours at home was full of energy and full of zest for life. Now, in terms of money today, I really don't know what I want to talk about. I was sitting here thinking for a while, like, what am I going to think about? What am I going to talk about? And I still don't know. So I guess I'm going to talk to you about what's been going on, and talk about that in the meantime. So this is B King trying to give me some energy. You need your energy. Yes, B. I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying. So Feet called me this morning, and she said that she didn't send me. She was telling me about this video, and she didn't tell me. She didn't send me the video, even though she sent it to some other people. But she didn't send it to me because she didn't want to interrupt what I'm doing with um, with trading. With trading, and I thought that was funny because I happened to be reading a trading book when she called this morning, and I was experimenting with that as being my morning practice reading a morning practice, reading a trading book as a morning practice book. I don't know if it's going to work. I don't know if it's going to work because I got something, but it wasn't enough energy, So I think I have to give myself more energy. But anyway, it was funny to me that she called and she thought, she was thought about me not taking advantage of me in terms of being focused. So anyway, that gives you a sense of the fact that I'm still working on forex. I had another dead end yesterday because I told you that there was one forex.com, which is a broker. Let me just explain it again. A broker is a person, an entity that makes you legit in the world of trading. So you can have a demo. A demo is an area with play money. You can sign it up like that. You can have a demo right now before the end of the show. Just sign up right like that. You can play with the numbers. You can just play with numbers. You can just make it a game for yourself, right? But once you decide you want to have a broker, then the process, at least for me, has gotten very very weird. It's gotten very hard. But I think it's because of own um, my own thinking of things in a weird way because they have forex.com has gotten in touch with me about giving them the right information. So I think that's a matter of me not remembering the right information when they contact me. So hopefully I'll be able to open a open an account with a broker soon because I just want to try something very small, very very small. Because of the problem with the app, the demos, is they got you feeling like you can do anything. You'd be like, oh, I'm just going to bet $3. Well, $3 is actually $3,000, or or multiplies itself by thousands because Forex is played on itself in terms of leverage. So I know that was too complicated to understand, and I don't fully understand it either. But I need to put some money in on the the side, the side to get a sense of it, so I can tell you. All right. Okay. So that's a little bit about what's been going on in terms of in terms of the the trading. Right. So that's enough about that because mentioned it. I was reading this book this morning, but I'm reading things that are kind of complicated now that I need to kind of distill them down. But this book I started reading today is a book that's $45. I was like, what? A single book that's costing you $45. I was like, wow. So I'm just reading a sample. But it's interesting to know that once you get into a certain area of life, you have to pay more. You have to pay more to get more. See, so you've gotten to someplace sacred when things start costing more. Things start costing more. All right. Okay, so that's that. And now I wanted to talk about the stock, the way of the well, actually, just talking about Robert Kiyosaki. Robert Kiyosaki is the author of Rich Dad Poor Dad, and I was talking yesterday about how his two the Rich Dad and the Poor Dad, how you would assume one is the other. Like one of his fathers was a PhD, finished his undergrad course in 2 years instead of 4 years. Like did all the great things. So much so that you would think that he would be the rich dad, but no, no. It was actually his dad that only graduated from eighth grade, who had everything. And so that's part of the lesson here, that the powers that be will teach us how to go through all the right angles, right? But if we go through all the right angles, follow the school system throughout everything, what we learn is how to how to not how to not take advantage of the system, how to not earn money, how to sit there and wait for someone to give us money. You understand? So it's interesting that it was the eighth grade person for him, and even still, shout back out to Forex. One of the people I'm following now is in his 20s. He's like 21, 22, but he didn't even finish college. Like I was like, what? Like what? He didn't finish college, and he's a multimillionaire. Yes, he's a multimillionaire. He didn't finish college because he discovered the thread for Forex while he was in college. He's followed it up, followed it up, followed it up, and he was making so much money that he decided not to go back to school to put his money on forex, and he was able to light his fire, light himself on fire. Like he currently lives in I think Puerto Rico. I mentioned him before, but he's I think he lived in, well, if it's not Puerto Rico, it's one of those islands, full time, full time. Him, his wife, baby, she's pregnant, and they're just living. I mean, they drive golf carts. they drive they drive golf carts to get around. Like, what are you talking about? So he drives golf carts to get around town, even though they have a real car. Like, wow, that's really cool. That's really cool. So anyway, I guess what I'm saying is that we've got to unlearn. We've got to unlearn what we've learned already about money. That's it. That's it. We've got to unlearn what we've already learned about money. Because, like I'm one of those people. I'm one of those people who's followed the school system. I've got a master's degree. And in all that, there was no one talking to me about money. There was no one talking to me about money. And now that I'm reteaching myself, restudying, and I'll make that the word, restudying, I'm thinking much more about the opportunities I had before that I missed. Yeah, say that again. P King saying, say it again. Unlearn, 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 and relearn. Yeah, I just made up that word, but we're gonna let that word stand. You got to unlearn, unlearn, and relearn, because for all of us, me included, we've got to figure out how to think about the world differently. And so, what I was talking about yesterday was about when I bought my condo, when I sold my condo, and even then, I sold the condo, but I didn't put the money into any place safe. Like I put the money into my checking account, that which I didn't spend on the Nashville complex. Now, Nashville complex is big. I just recently checked it out. It's still there, still big, but I didn't set aside any of that money for me. Like what I would do now, clearly now, I would take 10%, put that 10% aside into stock. I would hold that money into stock very, very tightly, right? So that uh, that gives you more legs to stand on. Like like I was dealing with one thing, and that one thing, when that one thing didn't work, then it didn't. When it didn't work, I didn't have anything else to fall back on. I didn't have anything else to fall back on, and so I did all the things. I got a what was that called? A bankruptcy. I filed for bankruptcy and found all these things. And now that I'm thinking about it, I'm thinking about these things that I experienced then, but I experienced them as negative, and now I can rethink about them as positive. Because I didn't like to talk about what happened with my money then, the fact that I lost it all on this natural complex. But there are pieces of it that were interesting. Like why was a a, a brokerage, a bank, bankruptcy? Why was a bankruptcy allowed, but student loans weren't allowed? Like a bankruptcy is supposed to be, you're supposed to be saying, "Hey, I got no money. I got no money. I'm tapped out." Right? You're saying that, but only the businesses hear it. The banks that hold your student loan still hold it. Like what? Like, huh? Isn't that interesting? And I didn't think about it as interesting then. I was just like trying to survive right then. But it's interesting to know that. Interesting to know that. Okay. Let's see. Let's check. Speaking is lighting me up today. All right. For those in the back row, again, you were speaking to me. All right. Thanks, V. Thanks, V. This information you're filling out for free is invaluable. Well, thank you, V. Thank you, V. I hope that you all are experiencing some of what I've experienced in a better way, because I've had some holistic experiences. I've had lots of experiences that didn't turn out well, but as I think about them now, based on what I know now, man, I could have really done some things. We could have done some things. So for those of you just joining us, just to put it all together, I bought a condo in Brooklyn when I was in my 20s. I sold that condo for $200,000, which was quite a big turnaround. And I took that money and I bought it to. I was actually buying a brownstone in Brooklyn, but the owner did something funny, and which let me pursue other options. And so I took the money and bought the complex in Nashville. So the complex, I mean, it's seriously a complex. It was like 11 units, per, yeah, like 6 on that side, 6 on the other side, courtyard, tennis, no, not a a parking lot, and they had all those things. And so I wasn't able to hold on to them, but that's because I skipped too far ahead of where I was. And so what we talked about today was buying something that has a tenant in it, and now that is much lower on the totem pole. So what I could have done is I could have bought. That's what I should have done. Really, I should have bought the brownstone that I was buying. I should have finished buying that, and set it up with one tenant. It's me and one other tenant, right? And then learned about having a tenant. So now they've got all these new things. You've got Airbnb, and you've got all these other things. Another one, Me, something like that. But there's all these different ways that you can monetize a bedroom, a suite, a floor. And so having the space for you plus someone else, it's a good way to go. It's a good way to go. All right. Okay. So I think that's it. Let me see what else I'm seeing in chat. Okay. Let's see what Linda's saying. Some of our most important lessons are lessons I learned from our mistakes. Yes, Linda. Amen to that. And in fact, growth rarely happens without some stumbles along the way. Ashe. And you know what? Linda, you've got to become aware that it is a mistake. You've got to become aware that it is a mistake that needs to be learned from. Yes, it needs to be learned from, because this happened to me a long time ago. And I was being busy fighting it. Like, I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to think about it. I don't want to talk about it. But now that I am researching, now I'm dealing with it actively, I'm seeing all the different catches, all the different toolbox things that are making me impossible to do something wrong moving forward. All right. I hope that helps. Hope that helps. All right. Let's see what P. King is saying. Many successful people never share their failures. Yes. But there's always a failure in achieving large goals. Yes, there are. That's exactly what I was just saying. And once you accept that this place is, if it's a big mistake, that means there's a big area for you to get lots of information from, lots of information. So I'm learning. I'm learning now off my past mistakes of the future. My past mistakes that so I can use for the future. So let me say this clearly. I'm learning more about real estate now than I did when I was in it. I'm learning more about real estate now than I did when I was in it because I'm learning from it. I'm learning from the mistakes that I made previously. All right. Ashe. Ashe. Okay. All right. I think that's all. I am so excited to know. The Speed King is expressing excitement about learning her way around money. Okay. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it for today. And hopefully tomorrow. Oh, shoot. All right. I think I still have time. Let me add Speed King's thing here. And let me find out the video. All right. And this is what she has to share with us.
Building strength in your abductors and your adductors is only going to help you as a runner. But even if you're a walker, as we age, our hips tend to get stiff and tight. So here is a really easy, quick move that you can do. You want to open that leg up like you're a doggy, taking a TT on a tree. You can hold for 10, 15, 20 seconds. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Squeeze your belly. Keep your back flat. Palms are flat onto the mat, close, and then switch to the other side. I have my client here as my model, hold for a beat. So you want to do 3 to 4 sets, at least three times a week. 3 times a week. You can also go into actual reps where you close the leg and you open the leg, close the leg and open the leg. I'm giving you all the angles here. Open the leg, close the leg, hold for a beat again. 10, 15, 20 seconds on each side. Make sure you keep it even. This is Fees Fitness Over 40, hip strengthener of the day for the one and only Sekou Wrights page. Building strength in your abductors and your adductors is only going to help you as a runner. But even if you're a walker, as we...
All right. So Fee and I, where are you guys? You guys here? Yeah, I guess you're here. So Fee and I have created these ads for each other's things, and whoever mails us too. And so mine that I've created for hers have been really interesting. I've done 3 so far, and I think I'm going to keep going because I'm finding much more succinct information about what information I would give to someone who is trying to start making money now. So I'm going to keep going with it and see how far I get. All right. So remember, now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. Now is better than perfect. I'll see you mañana. Later.